Welcome back to the Performa 550 debacle. By the time you're seeing this, the other video will have been uploaded. It's actually uploaded today. Today being Saturday, May 6th. So, where we left off, I had this machine, you power it on. It powers on, it doesn't really do anything else though. Or it didn't really do anything else. Logic board from it sitting over there. Seller sent me another chassis. It arrived smashed and also didn't work. So what I did is I found another board. Actually, what I found is not another Performa 550 board. It is actually the board out of a Macintosh TV. And they sent me all the parts for it. That front faceplate, which I'll probably never use. The Macintosh TV board itself. The tuner board, which I think doesn't work, or I was told doesn't work. And the rear panel. So, the good news that I've got for you is that it powers on now, or at least it did. Turn it on. And here we go. Or maybe not. Okay, what the hell. Much strife later. Let's see if it works on camera now. I had it working a second ago. There we go. That's more like what it should be doing. Now the question remains, is the screen going to come on? Because sometimes it hasn't. Oh, something's happening. There we go. The screen is on. Now, this won't boot, so we're not out of the woods yet. Okay, well, it was doing more the last time I had it powered on. So I wonder what's up with that now. I can't win with this machine, I'm telling you what. There's always a problem. Okay, well, I've gotten a little bit farther than I was. This mouse is being seriously irritating. So to eject the floppy, I pulled the hard drive out because I thought there was a problem. But it just sits there for quite a while, actually. Well, now it's not. It was before. So let me put the hard drive back. Obviously, you just saw there, I'm going to have to install something that's not System 7.1, because that's what's on the hard drive. Even though 7.1 is supposed to run on the Macintosh TV, apparently it doesn't run on this one. Just goes to show you that you can't ever win with vintage computers. You can't ever win. I've had nothing but problems with this since day one. Amazing, really. Take 65 with the hard drive installed again. Every time it's turning the CRT on. In my testing last night, there were occasions where it didn't do that. Okay, so now it's working. You'll see in a second this won't boot because it doesn't have the appropriate system enabler. Just the same as those brand new System 7.1 discs. So I don't know what's up with that. This is supposed to run System 7.1. So I don't know if I need a special set of 7.1 install discs. Or what I need. It also looks like somebody might have bumped this. I'm really annoyed by that because this chassis was mint. Or almost mint. Not quite. I just hope that the whole face doesn't decide it's going to fall off because there's so much broken plastic in there that's been disturbed now. Hope there's no broken plastic in there, but somehow I kind of doubt that there isn't. So I guess I'm getting System 7.5 discs. And I'm also going to try and clear up some of this mess that's in front of it so I can actually work on the thing. Okay. got my 7.5 disc, or one of them anyway. It's going to come up. Well, that's better. So this has the enabler I need. The problem is that the Macintosh uses a bunch of different system enablers in order to make it work with specific systems. Oops. Well, that's really irritating. I don't understand why that's being such a problem. Wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, with every turn with this thing, it's been a problem. That's been problem after problem after problem. I don't think this is going to be any different because it's not loading anything. This is the install disk. This shouldn't happen on the install disk. So, again, not out of the woods yet. This is probably going to take quite a bit of work in order to get working. It's taken quite a bit more than it really should, honestly. But this is the less glamorous side of PC repair, or computer repair in general, with vintage PCs and vintage Macs. I keep calling it PCs for some reason. But yeah, not fun. All I want is to get to a desktop so I can move the enabler over that I need to. Even though this is a Macintosh LC520 motherboard, logic board, basically. Oh, it actually is going to try and start. That's amazing. Even though it's an LC520 logic board, it's not an LC520. It does not use the same enabler, because if it did, the copy of 7.1 that was on the disk would have booted. Because the 520 and the 550 use the same enabler. And remember, this was an LC550 before. It uses a different one. And the reason why it uses a different one, at least as far as I can tell, is because it's got the onboard TV tuner instead of the LCPDS slot. Now, why they didn't design it so that it used the LCPDS slot for the tuner, I don't know. You'd have to go back in time and ask Apple on that one. So, I guess now we have to play the waiting game. Wait for it to do something. I'd rather not reinstall the OS on this if I don't have to. So, all I want to do, I might have to, I might not have a choice. Because this is an installer. It's not like the old versions of the Mac OS where you boot it up to a desktop on the floppy. And you could just go ahead and drag the system folder over to the machine and do things with it as if you would normally. So I'm going to go through this process, I guess. Let's see if it actually sees my hard drive. That might be the disk name. I don't actually know. Oh, well, that's not going to work. Yeah, that must be the disk name. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go for the easy install. I don't need anything else anyway. So we'll just do that. Because I can't boot 7.1 on this. At least not without a special install setup. Or a Mac that can actually... it's not like I don't. I mean, I've got that Power Mac that's sitting behind that big Dell box over there. And that iMac that's sitting over there. Although that iMac doesn't have a built-in floppy, and I think those lobotomized USB ones won't actually work for this. Hazards of living by a main street. I'm telling you what, you come outside here, there's always a siren going off. It sounds like people won't get the heck out of the way, either. It's kind of ridiculous, really. This is actually the second time I've tried installing. The last time when I went to go insert disk 7, it also popped up a message asking for disk 1, and I got stuck in a loop. You put in disk 1, it'd be fine, it would still ask for disk 7. As soon as it eject the disk, it would ask for 1 again, so I don't know what happened there, but it worked the second time. And I'm kind of questioning whether or not I'm going to get a bus error when I power this back up again. I'm kind of curious. I'm wondering if maybe it's because that TV tuner is messed up, because I was told that it needed to be recapped. Not 100% sure. I'd have to reread the listing to see if the test system booted with that tuner in place. I may just pull it. I mean, it's not likely I'll ever use it anyway, but probably should fix it and put it back into place. I think the motherboard's been recapped because I saw a standard electrolytic on there. And I don't think Apple would have used a standard electrolytic. They would have used a surface mount metal can, silver can cap. So for recommendations. Definitely not a new thing. Now we are finishing installation. So it looks like that bar's got quite a ways to go. I think it's pretty much done now. Can't cancel it, so there's definitely no going back. Okay, installation successful. We'll press quit if I can. There we go. Press restart. Okay, let's see if it boots. I'm not holding my breath. It's better. It'll probably pop up with a bus error because, like I said, I think that tuner's dragging it down. Maybe not. Oop. Is it going to go any further? We are loading extensions. I might have to install a special extension to get the TV tuner to work. This is a basic install. Look at this. Look at all this junk that it's loading. I wonder if some of these are from the old install. They might be. And they probably are. Because that's not a standard System 7 thing. A little hard drive thing in the corner. Let's see if we get a desktop here. Yes. I forgot to put the battery back in. I had a clock battery that I had installed in this, and well, so now it's probably rebuilding my desktop file. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time doing some clearing, but back to this thing, which is still running. I found some things out about this. Number one is that this wraps around at 2019. So I can't actually set to 2023. I got it set to 2022, or sorry, 1922, because that'll give me the correct actual date up there. Or, sorry, day of the week. Everything else is fine. I know there's a utility out there that will allow you to set the date properly. I'm going to have to download that and put that on here. Other things that are interesting. I thought that the way that these were set up, these Macintosh TVs, which are LC520s at the base of it, I thought that the LC520 had 1 megabyte of soldered-on memory, and that these came with a 4 megabyte SIM to get you a total of 5 megabytes. But that's not true. And I made that discovery quite by accident when I came in here to about this Mac and found out that it's got 8 megabytes. I was wondering, well, how the hell can this have 8 megabytes? There's no such thing as a 7 megabyte SIM. It just doesn't exist. And it turns out it's actually pretty simple. They had 4 megabytes soldered on the board, and these Macintosh TVs came stock with a 1 megabyte SIM to give you your 5 megabytes. This one's been upgraded, so it now has 8. It's got a 4 megabyte SIM and 4 megabytes of soldered memory. Don't remember, actually I didn't even look, if the LC520 is set up the same, but I imagine that it probably is, considering that, well, you know, this basically is just an LC520 with a TV tuner in place of the LC-PDS slot. I did disable a couple of extensions that I didn't think were necessary. There was something that was loaded in the top corner. And I think I also disabled, there was also a super clock that was loaded that wasn't quite working correctly. It was displaying the wrong time and not advancing, so I turned that off because there's no reason to have it. It doesn't provide anything different from this, other than maybe the addition of a timer. I don't think this will give you a timer. No, this doesn't give you a timer. So, super clock would give you a timer, but if it's not going to work, then I don't really want it anyway. So you can see here that that's what we now have. I'm going to go ahead and change the desktop background. There should be, I thought 7.5 had this, that it had the, what was that called? The control strip down there in the corner. But it looks like that's not an option. I can't see it in the control panel anywhere. So, desktop patterns. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to the one that I want, because there is a specific one that I want. I'm going to do the same thing with the Performa 5215 CD whenever it is that I actually get to it. Yes, this is the one that I want. There's the nice stars. Not only is that probably easier on the CRT, but this is also what I remember the one that I saw in school being set to. Because remember, I've only ever seen one of these running in person, in one of the classrooms. I don't think that's the original hard drive either. In fact, I can tell you that it's not, because this would have shipped with a 160 megabyte hard drive. And this, as you can quite clearly see, has got more than 160 megabytes used. Now, how big it is, I don't know. I'm also kind of curious why it thinks that that is an external SCSI drive. Because that should be on the onboard SCSI controller, but, no. I don't know. You can see I've also colored it pink for in progress. I'd love to know how to change the name on this, because you should be able to do that. This had a French version of OS 7.1 installed on it before. I believe this has got Office. Does it have the full Office suite? Yes. All different versions, which is quite funny. And I'm sure they're the French versions. So this is an alias. I can go ahead and I can open it. See if it'll actually open on this. Given it is the French version. Or if it'll just blow the Macintosh up. No, it's trying. I do like that up there, that little indicator. It's nice to know when the system's actually doing something, because Apple's big thing was not having a hard drive LED. Of course, nothing these days is a hard drive LED, because it's just not cool. French version, it is loading. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I'll have to load up some proper software on this. The English versions of some of these, because I do have them. I've got a fair amount of classic macOS software sitting around. Well, the problem actually is that a lot of it is for older Macintoshes than this. It's for, you know, things like System 6 or System 7 that you would run on something like that. Or that. Or that. Oh, I was beginning to think that would never load. I wonder if this still has some documents on it. Oh, there's a file. Opens up ClarisWorks. Oh. Okay, I guess 8 megs is not enough. Now, the problem with this is 8 megs, I think, is the maximum this system will support. Because I don't think this will take an 8 megabyte SIM. I think it's limited to 1 or 4. So, Oh well, I guess we're not opening that. And I wonder if ClarisWorks won't open at all. Yeah, it's not even going to open at all. Okay, so the file I just tried loading, I can't actually load on YouTube because that's got addresses and phone numbers and other things. So let's try something else. All I want to do is load a file. So, apparently it's very important, whatever that is. So, okay. Fair enough. Oh, I wanted to check the memory usage. So let's try switching back to the Finder. And looking at the RAM usage now. Yeah, we've basically run this thing completely out of memory. 8 megs is not enough. And unfortunately, like I said, I think it's the maximum that this thing will support. So I'm not really sure what to do about that. Probably disable some more system extensions that this doesn't need to have on it. There's probably all manner of things that I just don't need to load. Things like the iOmega zip driver, printers, and what have you. Okay, disabled even more crap. Made some more adjustments. Turned on virtual memory. Let's see what it does now. I'm going to put a battery back in this, and then it keeps all of its settings as well. And watch it boot from start to finish. What I'll probably do with this, instead of using the virtual memory setup, is I'll probably actually install RAM Doubler on this. So it would be a perfect candidate for it. Alright. You can see, look at that. So now we should be able to open up ClarisWorks without issue. Let's see if I can find that file. Try and open it again. Hopefully, it's not something that I can't open on camera like that other file was. Still takes it quite a while to redraw the screen. ClarisWorks version 4. Copyright 1995. Again, it's the French version. I'll have to get the English version of a lot of these programs installed. It's got a screensaver program on it as well. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'm pretty sure I left it enabled. Probably nothing totally. Looks pretty benign. You see there's a little bit of an issue with the pincushion on this display. So I'll probably have to make some adjustments on that. Let's see what it's doing as far as memory. Yeah. So, it's using up a fair amount. I'd like to install a CD-ROM on this, but I don't know if I really need to. There's not a whole lot of software I've got for the Macintosh on CD-ROM. Most of it's on floppy, and like I said, most of it's for older systems than this. But at the end of the day, we've got what we've got. So, a work in progress. But at least the system runs now. So, it's got that going for it. So we'll power it off. And I'll close this video. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.